What's up, my loves? It's your girl Diamond, and I'm back with my own new review of Love and Marriage DC. I know it's late, but life be life in me, okay? So we start off where we left off with Jamie at Brittany's house, okay? He is not aware that his parents are also coming over. And when he heard his mom downstairs, he instantly put the two and two together. I'm being set up. Same with Big Jamie and Erana. They did not know that little Jamie was here. So Brittany just put it all on the table. I am tired of having one-on-one conversations with all of y'all. It's time to put it all on the table so we can resolve this, okay? Who wants to go first? Big Jamie wasn't here to argue, but he told Jamie, "Where are you in life?" Because Jamie is still living at home with his parents and wondering why is at this place in his life. Wonder how did he get here. Big Jamie takes accountability and part of the blame that we are probably at fault as to why you're not at this place that we want you to be. Like, you are at this block where you don't know if you want to move forward, you don't want to be here. We are to blame why you are stuck in moving forward with your life. And I was with Brittany. Yay, because ever since this season has started, you have blamed Jamie for where he's at in his life, as if he is not the only one who has taken a part of how his life has been. You know, you guys are to blame too. You guys are his parents. You guys have molded him to be this person. So I was like, yes, Jamie, take accountability. The first time we're hearing you, take accountability. Now, as well as Big Jamie is a part of the blame, Little Jamie has to take accountability as well. Because, yes, what are you doing with your life? What do you want to do? What do you want to be? What is your career path? And that's exactly what Arain is asking him. How can we help you? Where do you see yourself in career? How are you going to make money? He don't know. Okay, he does not know. His grandmother want the best for him. She wants more for him. But at the same point in time, I can't want better for you if you don't want better for yourself. Now Jamie is shutting down because he was blindsided by this conversation. He's feeling like everything is on him. He's feeling isolated, like it's all my fault, you know. So he doesn't want to say things he doesn't mean. So he's shutting down. Jamie talks about, I want him to find something that makes him happy so he can make his parents proud. And Jamie starts to get emotional. He starts crying because he really wants to see his son win. He cares about his son. Maybe more than what we see, but I feel like, Jamie, you need to start showing that side more. Stop being so harsh and break out of that tough guy, setting. Break out of that. And maybe that's what Jamie don't hear. He don't hear how you feel about him. He don't hear how you express how you love him. He probably don't hear it. Then it got me when the grandmother starts crying. Don't let grandmother cry, because that's going to get me going. Okay, I'm a very sensitive and emotional person. Don't do it. Okay. Then the messages that he sends his mother about thinking about harming himself, and Arena doesn't know what to do. She don't know how to help him, because I don't know what you're thinking. I don't know how you're feeling, and I don't even know what to do if I hear you're harming yourself, and what happened if you did. I don't think I can handle that. And she is tired of Big Jamie and Little Jamie going back and forth. Roller coaster ride. Y'all good? Y'all not good? Y'all okay? Y'all not okay? Up and down. And she is tired of being in the middle. But I also want Arena to speak up as well. Block and stop when Jamie tends to go off the ledge with talking about his son the way that he does, and speak up for your son. Defend your son, because I don't think we've seen you defend your son more than what we need you to do. And little Jamie, he's taking it in, but he's not talking, and probably overthinking that he's about to explode. You know what I'm saying? He's feeling like his feelings are getting minimized or getting dismissed. He don't feel like the space is a good space for me to talk about how I'm feeling. So he walks off, okay? And no, he didn't walk off yet. The ultimatum of finding out what's going on with him is seeing a professional therapist. And the ultimatum is, you agree to go see a professional therapist and we can move forward. And if you don't agree, you're going to have to get out the house. And he tells his mom, Arena, I don't care if you get mad, but he going to have to get out the house, because he can go live with his girlfriend, move everything out of his room, everything, even for his new mailing address to that place. He will not come back into this house until he agrees to go see a therapist. Now, with that ultimatum, I was like, okay, you're pretty much pushing him to stand up for himself, pushing him to get out on his own, and had to tell Arena, I'm sorry I'm kicking your baby out, but he gonna have to figure it out. If you don't want to seek help, he ain't gonna live in my house and not seek help. He ain't gonna be depressed and not figuring out what his life is. Not under my roof where I'm paying the bills. That's not gonna work for me. Um, I was like, wow, like tell me how you really feel. You know what I'm saying? But I wonder why wasn't this implemented before? I feel like you're putting your foot down now based off of how everything has showcased on the show, and you want to fix it. So he says no, but he walks away, and because all he's hearing is my life, what I'm not doing. I'm just a problem child. I'm the black sheep. Everything's all my fault, and I'm wondering when at some point in his upbringing did you guys hold him accountable, but still made him feel like shit? Because there are ways where you can reprimand your child, but he still feels like I'm never gonna live up to that. I'm never gonna live up to what you want me to be. I'm always failing. I'm stupid. I'm naive. Trust me, a lot can go into a child's mind that can develop into adulthood, wondering, was I ever a good kid? Was I ever a good daughter, a good son? What did I do to make you look at me in a different way? What did I do? Um, so then he's feeling like, let me just leave then. If I'm so worthless and I'm not good to be a part of this family, then maybe I can have a better life if I'm not here, which is a very, very, very tough thing to admit out loud and a very scary thing. I've had conversations with my husband, and the way that my husband's upbringing was, he has felt that moment, that period of I should not be here. And I had to remind him, you are worth being here. I have that feeling as well. Never thought of harming myself, but numbing myself, I guess in the same breath of being of non-existence. And Brittany tells him, no, it is not just you. Stop taking it as if we're attacking you. Stop taking it as if it's all on you, because it's not on you. She gets emotional. And she said, I don't want you to leave. I don't want you to go. And I'm telling you right now, the way you're thinking is affecting all of us. And we want you to be great. We want you to be better. And shutting down doesn't help. I want you to talk about how you're feeling. Now, Jamie, he admits that his approach has been wrong. And he wants to go for himself. I want to seek therapy for myself so I can know how to approach you and express my love for you, express my concerns for you without you taking it as if I'm attacking you. And I was like, okay, Jamie, 2 for 2. You're getting there. You're realizing your approach can come off wrong, can come off harsh, and it could be taken differently. It could be taken as if I am just worthless. And the fact that Jamie is the one who's mentioning counseling when Erana wanted to mention it, he wasn't on board, but now he is. So because Jamie is now hearing that it's not just me, everybody is feeling away. Everybody has something to talk about, to get some help on. So that encouraged him to want to go to seek help. And sometimes, where the accountability and understanding can come from is how you guys hold yourselves accountable, because everybody in this world has been held accountable for one point after another and where they're at in their life. So as good as you guys are doing this therapy, this counseling session, I feel like everybody needs individual counseling and group therapy counseling, because there's some ways y'all gotta go, okay? But I was very happy. This was a very good moment, a very learning moment when it comes to mental health and family dynamics. We're gonna move on from that. Winter is checking out a restaurant space because her romancipation is pretty much a modernized divorce party. And since she is divorced, she's now getting back into the single life, dating and everything. She invited Sharelle to get some help along with the space and get everybody on board, because we just need a fun time to let our hair down and move on, resolve our issues and move on from that, okay? So Sharelle was like, you sure you want to do that? I think you need to have a one-on-one with everybody first, and starting with Ashley. I think you guys can have a decent conversation if you guys are by yourselves. Well, Erana didn't go too well. We're going to see if Ashley and Winter can have a decent conversation, because like Winter said, we're both mothers, we're both entrepreneurs, we both are boss women, we both like to have the final say, we both like to hear the sound of our own voices, we feel like we got everything we say is correct. And if we could resolve all the BS and move on, we can actually become really good friends. Now, I know that the edit make it seem as if Winter is believing she could be best friends with Ashley, but the thing about it is Ashley is a very strong, opinionated person, but Ashley is also a bulldozer. She feels like her word is valid, her word is right, and that nobody can tell her nothing. Even if it's her own friend group, she will never listen to another person's opinions because she thinks that her opinions is better. That's why she clashed with Winter about how Winter's feelings were, because she didn't think that Winter should have a problem with feeling the way that Ashley talked to her. That's Ashley's problem. Not taking criticism without it feeling like I don't agree with you, because she wants people to agree with her all the time. She wants a yes crew. Um, then we get to Sharelle feeling a way about Joy. Okay, now Erana started the whole thing. Erana was telling her what Joy said. Erana was about to invite Joy to her event, but you don't know. You have no position to invite Joy to another person's event when you know for a fact Joy has said more than once she don't like Sharelle. She don't like Sharelle's husband. She blocked him. So given that energy, Joy ends up telling Erana about Black, her husband, and how he's done some shady business in the past when they were in the group. Now Winter said, why would you bring that back to you? And I'm the messy one. And I'm with Winter again. She feels like Erana plays both sides. Erana has played both sides when it came down to the first season. And she wants some clarity because Sharelle is like a ticking time bomb when it comes to defending her husband. You know, I mean, look, Erana was being messy, setting up what Joy said about Black, but in hindsight, the way that Joy expressed how Black's behavior was when they were in the group, Erana just summed it up. But it still wasn't Arana's job nor her position to go back and tell Sharelle that. But that's what Erana wanted to do. But they're gonna have a conversation, get some clarity, because Erana said that's what Joy said. I want to hear what Joy said. All right, so here we go. Ashley. Ashley is sitting at home. Quick is acting like he's reading her book, but okay. Preparing for his street name. You know, it's super exciting that he has his own street name where he grew up on the east side of Baltimore. And then he presents a argument or presents a conversation with Ashley about, so what is it you didn't tell me about Antonio? She said, what haven't I told you? So apparently Antonio got suspended. Okay, but what was his reason for getting suspended? He got suspended for fighting because somebody stole his jacket. So she's like, what do you mean, what did I tell you? To me, thanks to other videos and thanks to other people who have watched the show and reviewed the show, they feel like Quick and Ashley, or Quick, he tends to perform. You know, he tends to perform in front of the cameras as if he is doing something when in reality he's not doing it. He's acting like he's this, stand-up parent. He's in his kids' lives, but in actuality he isn't. Okay, so he gets downstairs and asks his son to explain the story, what happened. So somebody stole his jacket. He found out who stole his jacket. He antagonized the person by grabbing his bag and say, come get it. They end up fighting and they both got suspended. So Ashley's feeling like my son shouldn't have got suspended because he was defending himself. But he's probably in a school that has a no fighting policy, and they cannot reward Antonio for defending himself by getting his jacket back and fighting, and not reprimand him for fighting. Okay, so both kids had to get suspended. Now here's Quick. He's all over the place. He is looking at this one thing that his son did, and automatically is placing him in that path of he's going to get in trouble. This is how it starts, just like it did with little Jamie. He started off good and then he started getting into trouble, and they got reprimanded for getting into trouble. I was like, Quick, stop. Stop. Stop comparing. Stop comparing little Jamie to your son. Stop doing that. That is not what happened. And that is not how it starts, okay? I get it. One kid can make one bad decision. They can end up making a whole bunch of decisions that are bad. But your son is not in that situation. Your son had his jacket taken away. He wanted to get it back. The way that he did it was the way that he did it. He got suspended for it. So he's accepting his punishment. You cannot place it as, here it goes. If it wasn't for me being that parent, I would not have allowed my son to do that. Because he's giving off that impression. I'm staying close to my kids. I am like a hawk. I'm watching them. I'm making sure they're not effing up another thing. I'm doing this and that. I'm like, Quick, stop. Stop projecting that you are the stand-up parent when you're not as there as you say you are. Just like it was the first season. Now you're trying to act like you are so involved in your kids' lives where you... I can't. I can't. So he recognized that his son is a good kid, right? He was okay. He was understanding that he went and got his jacket back, but the way that he did it wasn't right, okay? So, Quick wanted to make a point by saying, all right, he stole your jacket. You wanted to get it back. You took his bag. What if you take his bag and there were drugs and gun in there? And they could have pinned it on you and say you planted it. And now that could have been a repercussion. That could have been a call from a call to us, want to know how did that happen, what's going on. I was kind of like, Quick, you're going off the deep end. You're going off the deep end, Quick. But I get it. I get it, because you just never know, right? You never know what another person can carry. You never know what's going on with them. But why did you go so deep and so dark that if Antonio was to take the boy's book bag to antagonize him into fighting because you took my jacket, that there could have been a gun or drugs in there? I'm just like, where are we? Quick, your son is in the suburbs, and that's not saying that drugs and crime don't happen in the suburbs. It does, but the way you're like, I feel like you're putting your life in your kid's situation, and it's not what's happening. Okay, and he made the point by saying all it takes is one decision that can affect your life. All it takes is one. I get it, Quick. I really, really do. It does take one decision, but the way you tend to project what you went through in your childhood, how you grew up in such crime and heartbreak and pain and blood, all this and that, you're taking it and using it to kind of like put yourself in your son's shoes, but that's not your son's shoes. That's not your son's life. Yes, your son got suspended for fighting, but he went and got his jacket back and ended up fighting. It does not mean that your son is now labeled into constantly being in the principal's office. He's constantly going to start fighting for no reason. That's not what that means. And I'm tired of you comparing little Jamie to your son. That's not what you need. Comparing is dangerous, because there are different elements into how little Jamie grew up and your son. Little Jamie is 26 years old, still trying to figure out his life. Your son is barely 14 years old. He still has his life ahead of him. And you cannot place what you have heard from Jamie about little Jamie into believing that you have the right to say this is how it starts. When a kid turns out good, like little Jamie, then he turns out bad, and look at where he's at with his parents. I don't want that for you. You don't know the ins and outs of what they had to do with Jamie. You don't know that, and that's why it was wrong for little Jamie, for Big Jamie and Erana to express how they have been dealing with little Jamie to y'all. Because it don't take long for Quick to compare little Jamie to his son. It doesn't even have to do, you don't have to do that. Worry about your son. Stop bringing up somebody else's kid to point out that you will never be like that. You will never have your son be like that. I will never be a father like Jamie. Stop doing that. Stop comparing. Stop comparing. It's dangerous. Stop. And that's why the Silvers and the Tylers are in this space right now, because of you guys have been comparing each other, and it's not good. Stop doing that. Thank you. So we get to Joy and Sharelle. This meeting was completely pointless, okay? It was awkward. What's your issue? Sharelle didn't have an issue with Joy until she heard from Erana that Joy said that her husband does shady business. And I didn't appreciate that. You wouldn't appreciate somebody was talking about your soon-to-be husband, where he's a bad businessman. He does bad business. He gives bad product. And he's shady. Joy says she never used the word shady. Those were Erana's words. Yes, Joy. But you called Black manipulative, selfish, and there were lies. Hindsight, you called him shady, but you didn't call him shady. You know what I'm saying? You gave off the characteristics, the adjectives of what defined to be shady without saying the word. And Erana just summed it up by telling Sharelle that, okay? But even in the confessional, Joy admitted, yes, she said he was shady. So I'm like, okay, then just admit it, Joy. So what is the issue? And Joyce, I think that all parties need to be involved, meaning Black needs to be here to explain himself about what happened when they were in Mamo Sauce. So Sharelle are on the defense because she knows her husband. But Joy said, I knew your husband before you, but I know my husband now. I know your husband before you. There were things that your husband have done before you got into the picture that apparently Joy is still mad about. She will not let it go until she gets what she gets. Is there a conversation, an apology, whatever it is, okay? And I can understand how Sharelle can be defensive when it comes to that, because I'm defensive when someone is displaying characteristics about my husband that he hasn't done that in a long time. I'm defending on what he is now. So I can get that, though. I can. But I am understanding that my husband was a different person when I got with him. And he explained to me how he was. I'm like, okay, so you're not there no more. You in a new spot? Cool. That's it. You know what I'm saying? So the ultimatum that happened in Mambo Sauce, right? So they were about to go on tour, and this was the biggest tour that can put them on the map. But two members of the group decided to quit and leave. They had to do a last minute audition, got two new members, and killed the tour. So that tour with the new added members created Mambo Sauce pretty much. But made Mambo Sauce be the biggest group ever, put them on the map. They were known all over the country, right? Now, coming back from that tour, they're getting publicity, they're getting press, they're getting popular. Then Black wanted to use his weight, use his status, use himself as leverage of bringing back the two old members and kicking out the new members. The new members who pretty much put Mama Sauce on the map, killed the tour, they're recognized by everybody, and kicked them out by putting the old members in. And he pretty much said, if I'm not a part of it, while they're a part of it, I'm not in it. So I was like, oh, okay. So you decide to place yourself as pretty much the talent, the star, to say if they're not coming back in, you're gonna lose me. And that's pretty much what happened. I'm just like, well, damn, that's kind of crazy. But have there been any conversations from that point on to now? Because that's pretty much what started the dismantle of Mambo Sauce from that moment. And now it's just like, after all these years, has he ever tried to rectify it? Has he ever tried to talk to her about it? But he's told Sharelle this. He hasn't told Joy this. Has he reached out to Joy? I don't think Joy wanted to admit that he has, but she wasn't ready to hear it, and I don't think she's ready to hear it now. I don't know. But at the end of the day, she just ended it from that point because she wasn't about to listen to nothing. So hearing the clarity that Ash and that Sharelle got from Joy, she could move on, because while I do want to hear what Joy had to say about my husband, I will still never be cool with someone who feels away about my husband. I got what she said, but it still doesn't do anything for me to be around her. So Joy said things got lost in translation, and maybe that's what it was. So you need to clear that up with Erana. And Joy don't care that Sherelle got clarity. Her clarity is not her concern. And keep everybody's name out their mouth. Rail does not like this. Does not like anybody say anything about her husband, because she takes that very seriously. Because those words really pissed her off about her husband. So that meeting was unnecessary. Joy, I'm gonna need for you to admit that you're still holding on to what happened 10 years ago. And are you admitting that Black ever reached out to you and fix it? So he does need to be present to give you that clarity, give you that understanding. And like Joy told Rail, you're the middleman. So there are things that you probably are not privy to. There are some things that Black hasn't told you about how the group was, and how he's been trying to fix things and mend fences. There's probably something he's avoided telling you. That's why Joy is still where she's at. There's something, but moving on from that, we get to Jamie and little Jamie. They go to their counseling session. The therapist was a very, very good therapist. I loved his energy. I love his voice and his Versace sweater. So, what's been going on? They have had a contentious relationship over the years, and this time it got physical. They've been going back and forth. It was verbal, then it got physical. How did it get physical? The speeding ticket that he needed help with, and it was replied, why do I need to help you pay your ticket? You ain't got the money for it. What's up with that? You not working? So that's where it spiraled out of control. You know what I'm saying? And looking at Jamie, he's like, you living in my house, I'm giving you change here and there, and yet you couldn't pay your own parking ticket. I'm funding for your lifestyle that you can't fund for yourself, and you couldn't even pay a parking ticket. And then he brought up that he bought the car, his grandmother paid for the insurance, and is wondering why isn't little Jamie where he's at in his life, if I'm the one footing the bill and he can't stand up on his own, and he's throwing it in my face that I should pay for it, or he's telling his friends, or he's telling us that his girlfriend held him down while we didn't do nothing. And it's a slap in the face if I'm one funding your lifestyle, buying the car, putting insurance on the car, but your girlfriend holding you down. Yeah, that could be a slap in the face. It can. um but when it came down to them having that conversation, which wasn't the right time, Jamie said that he was drinking, but the doctor said, I'm not about to lie, you use that as an excuse. That's not an excuse for liquor in your system to engaged in that fight. No, not gonna slide with me. Then he said he's a retired detective, being on the police force for 25 years. He's had a strict mannerism about himself, and the doctor said, "But you did dope. You should have known that there was a certain way you could have approached that, and you did not do it." So the fact that he was getting reprimanded about how his energy, his tone, his delivery can come across, can make somebody feel away, little Jamie was excited and happy that there is someone who can finally see what I have been dealing with all this time as I've grown up, how my father, being a police officer, have taken an impact on how I grew up, have taken an impact on how he talks to me. And hearing it differently was a different perspective, a different mindset. He was like, okay, now I get what you're saying. And there are things that Jamie still holds on to when little Jamie was younger that he did, and now him getting arrested, and you know, but all that time you're telling him what he's done wrong. How many times are you gonna remind him everything he's done wrong instead of looking at what he's trying to fix, what he's trying to make right? So Jamie realizes that he needs to work on his tone, his delivery, and that he does have anger issues. And when he gets into that rage, there's no middle. There's no coming down from that. And he needs to find different ways of approaching things differently. His tone needs to be different. His energy needs to be different. Now, little Jamie wants his father to trust him that I'm growing up, I'm ready to be a man. But what's stopping him? It's little Jamie. You have to work with you. You have to be consistent. You have to be accountable. And how does that start? By knowing that the things that you were told, don't let that affect you. And hearing it from a different person about how he needs to hold himself accountable, he needs to figure things out because this is his life, he take it differently. It is a different tone. When you hear from somebody else, you get it, you understand it, it clicks, versus than hearing it from your parents. And I think that's going to be the understanding statement of the year. When you're hearing it from your parents, you feel more pressure. You feel more like, oh my God, I got to figure it out. But when you hear from somebody else, it gives you that space of comfort. Like, okay, I have time to figure it out. I don't have to have it all together at once. I can still do this. Now, from his perspective, he says that he has to be accountable for his mistakes, step up and be a man, and let his parents do that. But like, he told Jamie, you have to give him that opportunity for him to figure it out and fix it. You have to let him have that. Now he wants his father to, like I said, he wants him to figure it out, give him the opportunity. And when it came down to the text messages and him thinking about harming himself, when was the last time you felt like you wanted to harm yourself? He said about a month ago. That wasn't that long ago. And the reason why it wasn't something to consider serious was the fact that Jamie has heard that before. Big Jamie has heard him say, I feel like doing this. I feel like I'm about to feel like this and do this. And nothing has happened. So he's pretty much waiting for him to actually do it. So he's not taking it as a sign for help, as a cry for help. But now hearing that little Jamie is struggling, because Big Jamie is looking at his life. You got it made. You have a good life, but yet you think you don't have a good life. You think you're worthless. You think that. And feeling like in this world, everybody else's outlook on other people don't always be the same. That's just like it is for social media. We can see people on social media have a whole bunch to live for. They're traveling. They got money. They got this. They got that. They got cars. But we don't know what goes on with them inside. They could be struggling, crying for help, having mental breakdowns. But what we see on social media is a whole different story. That's why you never know what the other person is feeling. And that's where he was, feeling like he didn't have any money, he didn't have any gas for his car. He got into the sunken place. And it made him feel like he don't want to live in this world no more. And from here on out, he does feel like I have a life to live. And that's why the therapist was telling him, you as a person, you as a man, is the reason why I got into this profession. To help young boys with potential like yourself. To remind them, you are a life that's worth saving. You are going to be somebody. You are something. You know what I'm saying? And you have to tap into that potential. And like he told little Jamie, I can see and want better for you, but I can't be the one to want it for you. You have to want it for yourself. Then they have a small one-on-one where he extends the opportunity to give his phone number. If Jamie was ever in that space where he's feeling like he's not there, he's feeling worthless, he's feeling down, call me. Call me, we can talk. I'm here for you. I'm going to give you the space to let out what you're feeling, that you don't get a chance to do it. because I want you to feel like you have somebody in this world that can be there for you. And that was a very, very, very good moment to see. I enjoyed it. That therapist needs to be on speed dial. Okay, have him be on speed dial to everybody who's willing to talk, because I like him a lot. That was a very good scene. So we ended off with Quick. Quick is now getting a street name called Quick Silverway over his old neighborhood, east side of Baltimore. And it's a huge accomplishment. Joy was a part of that community. She grew up in East Baltimore as well. And it's a huge deal to get a name after you. You know what I'm saying? We see his family members, his grandmother, his mother's best friend was there. And the original name of the street was Shady Side, and how it comes Quicksilver Way, very convenient. Um, what she say? Um, this is an exciting moment for Quick, but Sharelle is feeling away by seeing Erana. She is like all over the place with seeing Erana, and she wants to give this moment to Quick, but it's just eating her up inside, okay? Black is the same way. He wants to address some things, but today is not the right day. This is not the right time for it. So we talk about how Quick, he was shot here, stabbed here, and I'm just like, oh my God, for real? Now, like I said in the beginning, I feel like Quick tends to perform, and I think Quick likes to remind us more than once that he's gotten stabbed, he's gotten shot, and he is coming back from that. He's a whole different person. He's a DJ. He's a celebrity, and it's just like, you know what, Quick, I love your story, but I feel like you tell it for um bragging purposes. You don't tell it just to come back from to look where you are, from where you came from. You like to hear other people's like, oh my God, look at you. You like to hear that oh my God, look at you, look how you came from, wow, that was crazy. You know what I'm saying? Then he gets on stage, he thanks everybody, but he gets emotional that his mother and father were not there. I mean, he was just becoming a DJ when his father died, and the fact that his father didn't see him become this huge DJ, it's like, wow, he almost saw me, made it. But I made it, Daddy. I made it, Mama. Okay. And just an inspiration that you don't have to be from Baltimore to make it out, but you can make it out if you are from Baltimore. You can be something. Now, this is such an exciting moment. Exciting moment, okay? And Sharelle, she just cannot help herself. She just seen Erana with her bob moving left and right, and she holds herself accountable for recognizing that this is the wrong place and the wrong time to address things, but she just cannot help herself. So now she wants to address things. And Joy can feel her energy. When a woman starts clapping her hands like this, say, I want to address some things, some shit's about to go down. No, not today, not here. Okay? So Sherelle just starts off with, I want to clear some things because I have to say this and I want to know where I stand in this whole situation, and I want to become clear of what's going on and how we should move forward from things. No idea who she's talking to, but Arena can feel like she's looking at me. And then she says, from the things you told me, because we had a conversation, that's when Arena caught the energy. So you're talking to me. Got it. That I don't play about words. I don't play about spreading messages. I don't disrupt family and marriages. That's not what I do. And then Arena gets the understanding of what's happening. So you are upset that I called your husband shady. Yes, but those are the words that described your husband. I said, damn, Arena was so bold when she said that. Said, oh, do you know my husband? No, I don't know your husband. And then they go back and forth, quick in the middle. Ashley moves him out the way. And this is where I am on Ashley's side. This is not the right time. This is my husband's event. Y'all two bitches should not have thought about this here. If any one of y'all hoes start fighting, we all gonna be fighting. Okay? So Arraign don't know what's going on here. She said, you doing this at my husband, you doing this because I said the word shady, but those words described your husband. That's what Joy said, blah, blah, blah. And I don't remember the word unethical and mistrustworthy, but I'm looking at Arraign. I'm like, wow, Arraign, you are repeating what you heard from another person, and the way you delivered it was a problem. And Sharelle getting all up in Arena's face, okay? Like, repeat what she said. Repeat what she said. Oh no, don't say my husband is shady. That's some fucked up shit. My husband is not shady. We're not about to do that shit. Blah, 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 the blah, blah, blah. And I was like, damn, Arena, look how the tides have turned. Because Sharelle was you when you came out winter. And now Sharelle is, look how the mighty have fallen. You're getting bulldozed and bombarded by what words you repeated And you never said those things, and you're getting upset. That's what Sharelle was. Sharelle was upset that there were things repeated about her husband, and you were the one who repeated it. You said the word shady, Joy didn't, but you still carried on the information, and that's all Winter did to you. Winter carried information that was repeated to her. She never said those things. She repeated what was sent to her, and you got mad. And now you repeat information from Joy to Sharelle about her husband, and she's getting mad. So I felt like, well, there it is, Erana. There's even. That is so even, okay? We are even Steven. Now you know what it's like for someone to bulldoze you over information you got received. You received information and nobody is listening to how you're explaining yourself. Nobody's giving you a chance to come across as if I'm not the one that said it. I'm not the one that's feeling this. It's her. But you're getting mad at me. Hello, that's how you did Winter. You didn't give Winter a chance to explain herself for her to say, I'm not saying these things. Somebody's saying these things. I'm letting you know what's being said. Boom. Look how the tables have turned, okay? Now, Joy, this is you. You had something to say about Black, but you're not speaking up because this is not the right time for me to say something, because this is not the right time for me to say something. This is not the right time at all for any of this to happen. So I'm going to keep quiet. I'm not going to say nothing. Erana bringing out the phone to explain the definition of shadies if she was doing something, girl. All right, fine. And going back and forth. Like I said it before, it's right here in my notes that you mad that the word your husband is shady. You mad at that? Yeah, Rain's like how you were mad that Winter called your husband Mr. Red Light Special. Yes, you were mad at that. So Sharelle can't have the ability to get mad at the word shady like you got mad about Jamie being called Mr. Red Light Special. So at this point, you can't expect for somebody to get over what's said about your husband if you never got over what's said about your husband. 2 and 2, right? So then Arena's getting pulled back and say nobody likes your ass anyway. And Sharelle's getting pulled back by Black and say, you think I give a fuck who don't like me, Arena? You think I give a fuck about who likes me? I don't give a fuck who likes me. And that's where it ends off. I think that the next episode's going to pick up from that point on, but this was a mess. And I was here for it. I was here for Arena getting what she gave to other people, especially Winter. So Sharelle was the one to do it. I wasn't mad. However, the energy of it all, I got Sharelle's point of defending her husband about be careful about how you spread information. But remember, Sharelle, you also told them that Winter wanted to move forward with them, but that's not what Winter said. And Winter did not ask you to get into the middle. You put yourself in the middle. Like how you put yourself in the middle of trying to get Ashley and Winter to have a conversation. So, Sharelle, you got to remember, you're putting yourself in these situations. Nobody's placing you. You're doing it. Like Arena's putting herself in situations that has nothing to do with her. So, there's that. But y'all, that's it. That's all I have. I enjoyed this episode, but please stay tuned for the next video, and I'm gonna see you guys later. Bye.